Everybody, coming up next, Sports Central, the very best in rugby, the best in basketball, and some really cool announcements about cheerleading. Check it out, everyone. We'll be back right after this. Everybody, and welcome to Sports Central. Mark Jackson here, along with my co-host, Mr. Hank Longo.
Hello,
Kick Neil Duncan off my chair.
Kicked him out.
Oh my gosh, that had to be painful.
No, actually, he's very enjoyable to work with.
He is. He's a good man, and we have a great show. There's, Hank, there's so much going on in Polk County right now and in Central Florida. It's absolutely amazing, both at the professional level and at the amateur level. And speaking of professional,
we have it, and we want to thank the folks at Abuelos for sponsoring this first segment as we get going. And our first wonderful guest, Shelly Wilkes from the Lakeland Magic.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great having you back on the show again.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Kind of getting into the big day, aren't we?
Yes, we are
exciting.
1 week away from opening night at the RP Funding Center. The Lakeland Magic will be taking on the Canton Charge at 7 p.m. It's actually opening weekend. We play Friday, Sunday, and then we come back and play Tuesday night as well at the RP Funding Center. So we're starting off with a bang. We really hope everyone will come out and see the action.
It's great. Well, this has been, you've been preparing this for some time. I mean, it's just, you don't just say, okay, here are the guys for the team and let's get this going. Behind the scenes has really been a lot of work to get ready for this special day and for a great season, for a great new thing happening here in Lakeland.
Yeah, so we've been working in the market since about January. We announced the team in December. And since January, we've been out there. We've been meeting people, bringing partners on board, really getting into the community, going through a renovation at the RP Funding Center, which has been very fun. All new digital technology, new video boards, brand new team locker room. So it's actually been a labor of love here getting to Friday, but it's been so exciting. We're excited to have the community come out and actually see it all come together. We have only had a team now for about a week and a half. There was a G League draft on the 21st, and then they opened training camp on the 24th. And so ever since then, the team's been practicing two-a-days. They've really been getting after it, and today they left on their first road trip to really kick off the regular season, and they're headed to Iowa to play a game tomorrow. And then they'll actually be from Sioux Falls, will be on ESPNU coming up as well on the 6th.
Wow. Well, hopefully they don't get snowed out because they're getting hammered up there right now.
Are they really?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's snow at my farm up in Wisconsin already.
When it starts snowing this early in the year up there, it's going to be a long
winter. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, Shelly, you've had an unbelievably successful career. You're with the Magic, and it just kind of launched from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, and now you're the general manager. I mean, president. The ruler of this G League team. I mean, that's really it's a statement about, in my opinion, about the quality of the Orlando Magic organization from the top down. Mr. DeVos is, we speak about him occasionally about what a great guy, great family. Yeah. But your career has been it's nothing but success. Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Yeah, so that's not all to me. I have had a great team, great leaders throughout my entire time with the Orlando Magic. I started in 2004 there within our ticket sales department and just kind of really had a passion for the entertainment side. So all of the breaks in the action that you see when you go into an Orlando Magic game, all the contest on court, the anthems, the halftimes, the big player introduction pieces, that's really where I loved the sport and where I really got started in the industry. And so through that, just had a lot of experiences, and then because of the different projects I took on with the Magic, they thought that this could be a great next step for me to start this team here in Lakeland and Polk County. And it has been just so fun. It's interesting to have to worry about a lot of things that I've never thought about. I don't
Like
get
what?
to just
Like what?
focus on what the mascot's doing every night. Now it's what's happening in the box office and what are our partners doing and which partners are coming on board. And so it's a lot of those little pieces,
All the
player
little things
travel.
under the umbrella that people
Yes.
don't really know, that are all the little intricate
Yeah.
things that
How are we
make
getting
up
our
the whole-
team to
the whole
Iowa?
team,
How are we
yeah.
getting them to the airport today? So it's like all those little things that I've never been involved in. And now seeing all that come together really is what makes it so exciting. It's a new challenge. It's a new opportunity. We have built an amazing staff. For anybody that has met anyone on the Lakeland Magic staff knows everyone has such a passion for this market, such a passion to be successful here. And we're just really can't wait for people to see it live and see the team on the court. Our general manager, Anthony Parker, and our head coach, Stan Heath, have been very involved. And they just want to put a competitive team out there. They want people to be proud of our team here in Lakeland and really want people to come out and see it and be a part of the action.
Well, for the audience that's not aware of the G League,
Yes.
let's explain that. Let's talk about the players.
Yeah,
Because
so
these just aren't guys coming off the street. This is a
No.
little more high end than that.
yeah, so the G League is really your minor league system for the NBA. So these guys have NBA experience or are going to have NBA experience. Most of them went to college or have played overseas. Really the goal of the G League is to develop players for the long-term success of your market and your team. We also utilize the G League. A lot of teams are going over to Europe, and we want this league to really grow, to be somewhere that people stay here locally and hone their skills in the NBA way of playing. What's going to be really fun is in Lakeland in particular, we will have Orlando Magic guys playing on our roster each night. So the team in Orlando will assign players to the Lakeland team, which just in general makes you more competitive each night. So we're hoping that translates into wins.
Well, I mean, I can see where it makes you more competitive, but doesn't it even help bring in more of a draw because you have an actual Orlando Magic
Yes.
player that people know and can relate to get, you know, because unless you get to go to a game,
Right.
you don't really get to see these guys play, you know. So to have it right here in town and to have a revolving door kind of Magic players
Yes.
coming in to play and you know, support the team, and I would think that having a teammate like that with the G League team has to be, you know, encouraging, and you know, they can be on a court with a Magic player and just see, well, how
Yeah.
are they on the court versus
Right.
the way I'm on the court.
Yep.
You know, to have that presence with you out there playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely elevates the experience for everybody. It elevates the experience for the fan, the players on the court, because to your point, they get to play with those guys that are more experienced in the NBA level. We will have, and we hope that people really get behind our guys. We've gotten the opportunity to meet them over the last week and a half, and they are great people. And that's really what the Orlando Magic organization and players are built on. They really want to bring in quality character guys who are going to play hard every night, who are going to play as a team, and who are just going to compete. And so we have that type of roster built right now for Lakeland. And now we're also going to see Wesley Owandu from Orlando, or Kem Birch. You're going to see him in Lakeland from time to time. He's actually traveling with the team right now to Iowa. We have two-way contract guys as well. Jamel Artis and Adrian Payne, who both will play some in Orlando, but will mostly play on your Lakeland team. And really, those two-way contracts are to protect the rights of players who we want to develop in our system. So currently, if you're not a two-way contract guy, anyone can kind of come in and sign your guy that you've been developing over the past 2 years,
at your
maybe.
expense.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
So that's really our hope, is to develop these players, get them some more playing time, and then hopefully watch them go on to their next NBA contract. But we want the people of Lakeland and Polk County to say, I saw that guy first. I saw him get his start, and then hope they follow him as he goes on to his NBA career.
Wow.
You know, that's pretty amazing. That the actual basketball side of the operation. You're president, so I mean, you're the queen bee, if you will, and of course, Alex Martins. You know, we've from the very beginning, we're impressed with Alex. You know, his integrity, his leadership, and all of those things. And knowing Alex and knowing you, the experience for the fan.
Yes.
Take the basketball
Yeah.
aside. Okay, what can the fan expect? Because I mean, You ran this huge operation up in
Yeah.
Orlando for an NBA team. Are we going to see some of that?
Yeah, so you'll see some of that in Lakeland. It's going to be a much different level. The building is much smaller than the Amway Center. There's not as much digital technology as you see in Orlando, but definitely that's what the NBA is all about. For anyone that's ever been to an NBA game, it's all about the entertainment. We want people to walk out of there really regardless of what happens on the court and have had an amazing time and remember those and have those memories with the people they're there with, that they remember the time they had while they're at the game, and maybe they don't even remember whether or not we won or lost, but they remember the feeling they had and the excitement they had while they were there. So yeah, you'll see entertainment during every break. It'll be high energy. We have a DJ. We're going to be introducing our mascot on opening night. There will be T-shirt launches. There will
Oh,
be.
you're going to do that? I was going to ask you.
Yes,
If you need a backup for the mascot,
he's in.
you can go just like that.
My Halloween outfit.
Now, on top of all this action going on, I would think that at the Lakeland Center for the fan, it's
The
going to be
RP Funding
Oh, the
Center.
RP Funding Center. Sorry, Mr. RP on that one.
Man.
I have to get used to that.
Dementia setting in a little early this
Oh.
week, huh?
It's been there for a long time. They're going to be closer to the players, aren't they? Because it's a smaller venue, so I would think that you're kind of up on top of them, you know, a lot more than you would be at Orlando's.
Yeah, so Orlando has courtside seats, and we will have courtside seats and suites. So you'll have a lot of closeness in that regard. The seats are a bit closer than they would be in Orlando. We don't have an upper bowl, so yes, there are really no bad seats in the house at the RP Funding Center, which is very exciting. The other piece is that post-game, every game, a couple players will stay back and do autographs for the fans.
great.
So everyone will be
super.
invited to stay, and as many autographs as they can get in post-game, they will try to do so. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun, a lot of opportunity to see NBA basketball up close and personal.
How can people get tickets? I mean, that's really important.
Yes, so tickets are available now on lakelandmagic.com. So we're selling single game tickets for all of our home games. If people are interested in group tickets, they can also get those there, as well as we still have season tickets available for this season, and tickets are as low as $10. So it's a very
Can't beat
affordable
that.
ticket. It's a fun night out with friends and family. And we just encourage everybody to be there.
Well, it's, the thing about basketball is a universal sport. Probably as much or more than any other sport, underneath the USOC or the IOC umbrella. It's extremely popular in South America. You were talking about that earlier, and the European League. And I just see, not only local area folks, but I see a lot of tourists going to have a chance to see, an NBA minor league team.
And
playing.
it's close. I mean, we
Yeah.
have so many people, especially as we get into Thanksgiving and visitors are going to start piling
Yeah.
in, for, 6 months, that another thing that they can do, and it's close by, is go
Exactly.
see a professional basketball game.
Yep.
Awesome. It's
Exactly.
awesome stuff. And, season starts out, everybody, Friday, November 10th, and it runs through March 24th, which is a Saturday. And it's a great season, a great team, quality product, and very family friendly and affordable. It doesn't get any better than that. And it's right here in Polk County in Lakeland. You really have to check it out. And, Shelly, again, I can speak very honestly, well, not that I speak dishonestly, but the fact that you've been really well received here. Obviously, your experience in Orlando has helped you become the president and overseeing all this stuff. But the excitement has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss the first game, but I will be there and looking forward to seeing
I'll
the
be
action.
there. I'm starting right guard, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Oh,
looking
perfect.
from-
We're
Yeah.
excited to
From
see you.
downtown.
No, he's going to be
Yeah.
handing out right
Bam.
guard. The deodorant is
Downtown.
probably what he's going to be
smoking
doing.
it. Bam! Another one
Whatever.
from downtown. He's
Hey.
on fire.
You're on fire, all right. Hey, Shelly, thanks so much
Thanks,
for joining
Shelly.
us, and
Thank you,
we
guys.
really appreciate what you've brought to Polk County, to what you've brought to Winter Haven and Lakeland, and we're looking forward to a great season.
Thank you both for having me.
Oh,
Welcome.
absolutely.
It's always great having you.
You bet. Well, there you have it, everybody. President of the new Lakeland Magic, and we are excited in Polk County, throughout
Yes, we
Central
are.
Florida, for this new opportunity, this new brand of entertainment that is really, it's going to be fun, Hank. It's going to be a
lot of
really
fun.
good time. Well, we've got a bunch of stuff going on. We've had a bunch of stuff going on. And one of those stuffs, if you will, and I don't mean stuff, the Orlando Magic mascot, I don't know where that came from. It's,
I don't
it's
know. You
just
pull 'em
like,
the
get
air
out
from
of there.
somewhere. I don't know.
Anyway, the NSA Super World Series softball tournament took place a couple of weeks ago right here in Polk County, and it was huge. We've got some great footage, some great action. Check this out. Hank and Mark, we'll be back right after this.
My name is Bill Horton. We're the new owners, myself and Kathy, my wife, the new owners of NSA BPA. We purchased it this last December. The company NSA is having its 35-year anniversary. It was started by our founder, Hugh Cantrell. He's retired and gone on, and we've taken over from there. We then developed what we call a Super World Series. That's here this weekend. We offered NITs, states, regionals, and worlds for teams to qualify all over the country. They have to qualify to get here. It's not a pay-to-play type of program. They do have to qualify. We're looking forward to growing a lot more over the next few years. We got a lot of new things developing with the new ownership. There'll be a lot of new things coming out over the next probably 6 months.
I'm Jim Kimmel, State Director from Indiana with the National Softball Association. I also serve on the National Board of Directors with NSA BPA, and I'm down here in Polk County, Florida, one of the coordinators for the 27 NSA Super World Series. Really happy to be here. The reception we've gotten has just been nothing short of phenomenal. We started working on putting the tournament here about 1.5 years ago with Mark Jackson and his staff. It's a great trip, it's a great location. You know, we couldn't be happier with the reception that we've got here at the park with the grounds crew and the maintenance staff. And of course, the Polk County staff have just been nothing short of outstanding.
Hi, my name is Dustin Sheeline. I'm the coach of Valor Softball. We're out of Kokomo, Indiana. We got here by winning the Super NIT in Muncie, Indiana. Been here a couple days now, and really excited to play in this Super World Series for the NSA, and hopefully we can come out of here on top and win the tournament. It'd be nice to go home with some hardware.
My name is Matt Grucheski. I'm the pitcher for the Screaming Seagulls. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We been down here a couple days, and we got a bye starting off, so we play a team out of Michigan, our first game. We've played them a few times this year. They're a hard team to beat, but I got confidence if we bring what we were supposed to bring, we'll do very good in this tournament.
Here with DNR Concrete softball team. I got a bunch of young, good ball players here. Over the years, we kind of put them together, picking up a few guys here and there. Got a great sponsor. We're from Shipshewana, Indiana. Been together this is our 6th year. Had a good run so far, so hopefully it keeps going.
We've got teams representing, I believe right now, about 15 to 17 different states. Numbers dropped down a little bit more than what we wanted, thanks to Hurricane Irma. But we do commend all these teams for coming in and being a big part of this event. And with our dealings with Winter Haven and the Polk County and Central Florida organization for bringing us in. Mark Jackson has been a big part of what we're doing with this group.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. Hope you enjoyed the NSA Super World Series. Man, they just pound that ball. These guys and girls are just all over the country.
Some great players, definitely.
Oh, that was tremendous. And that actually, the footage was from, more great segments from PGTV. They just do a great job. Super staff and great to work with and all of that type of stuff. But that event, in fact, the footage that we had there, Hank, was from the Diamondplex in Winter Haven over there by Polk State College.
One of our many great complexes here in the county. And
great partners.
Yeah. We want to thank partners. We want to thank the folks at Days in Lakeland for supporting us here on this second segment of Sports Central.
One of the favorites for sports fans and athletes from all over the world. Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of sports fans, and one of the things about the sport of football is the competition isn't always just on the gridiron.
Yeah.
Between 11 guys on defense, 11 guys on offense. There's also, and in fact, it's one of the fastest growing sports, that in rugby, and we have JD coming on the next segment to talk about that, but cheerleading. And if you've ever watched cheerleading competition, it is a combination of dance, gymnastics, ballet, and all sorts of other stuff. And we have one of the best of the best. Yeah, Tracy Faison from Mid-Florida Football Conference. Did I say all of that correctly? You're the vice president.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Just,
hang in there. Keep it going. Keep it going.
I'm telling you. Well, just a little sleepyhead today. But anyway, it's the Mid-Florida Football and Cheer Conference, and it is an exciting group of folks to watch, both the football side and the cheer side, but both of them are equally competitive. Tracy, thanks so much for joining us. You've got a great program up there, and Horace West really involved. We love working with Horace. We worked with him for years and years and years and years, and it's just really impressive to see the size, number one, the size of this organization, the quality of the organization, and the opportunities that you give to the youth of Polk County and actually all of Central Florida.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you bet. Good to have you. So tell us a little bit about the cheerleading side of the, I don't want to say the business, but it sort of is a business. The cheerleading side of things is massive.
Yes.
And you've got like hundreds and hundreds of kids that are participating, but you also compete?
Yes. Just this past October the 21st, we had a cheer off. And the Mid-Florida Cheerleading and Football Conference, we're in 17 counties. But the best part about it is Mid-Florida Football and Cheerleading Conference was founded in Polk County.
Wow.
Yes. So we bring everybody back home. Just on October the 21st, we had approximately 1,500 girls competing against each other. We had 214 teams was competing, and the age range from 4 to 15. So they had a wonderful time.
Where did you do this?
We did it at Bronze Stadium.
Okay, in Lakeland.
In Lakeland.
So you're outside in an outside stadium.
Yes.
With his, it's just like here we are at the football game. What an organizational event that's got to be to have all those teams and give them how long do they do their routine for?
Yes, each team has 2 minutes and 30 seconds to perform a cheer, chant, and dance.
Wow.
Cheer, chant, and dance.
Yes.
CCD.
Yes.
Okay.
Cheer, go, chant, win, and then do
Not
a little dance.
Not like Hank, ADD.
Wow, and so this has to be great for kids who are 4 years old, you're saying, that are doing this, and when they compete like this, do they, how much older are the members of their team? If they're 4, do they go to 6 or 8, or how does that work out?
Each division, we call them flag. They're from 4 to 6. We have Mighty Mites, 7 to 8.
Mighty Mites?
Mighty Mites.
Okay.
We have Pee-wees. They're 9 and 10. We have juniors. They're 11 and 12. And then we have the best of the best is our seniors, and they are from 13 to 15.
And that's their name, the best of the best.
The best of the best.
Wow. Okay.
They'll be aging out, so that's why we call them the best of the best.
Wow.
Well, it's kind of like gymnastics. They get that, they start developing and, physically, and then, start developing interests in things other than cheerleading, and life moves on.
Yes.
But it's a sport that they can take with them through high school,
Absolutely.
through college, and then, you know, like you know, you can get involved as a coach,
And
as a
an
volunteer,
organization,
and
yeah.
all this, and that's, isn't that part of what Mid-Florida is all about?
Absolutely.
Giving back to the community?
Absolutely. We have a lot of our participants have came back, went to college, came back to the community, and now coaching and giving back to the community. So that's one of our goals, is try to mentor the youth to go to be a successful citizen and come back to our community and give back.
Very good. Now, this is also, you're training people there as well, aren't
Yes.
you? I mean, and how does that work into the competition?
What happens is the individual team seeks out their coaches, usually their team moms, and those team moms usually have cheered, or they have, we call them junior coaches that have came through the program, and there are high school cheerleaders that they're giving back to the youth, and that's how they're usually are trained.
Wow, that's great.
So
Great.
you have 2 events coming up, and we certainly want to get everybody the opportunity to get the information. How do they
Yes.
contact you and those types of things? In fact, let's do that now. You know, if somebody's has a son to get into football, or a daughter that wants to cheer, or whatever, you
Absolutely.
know. Can boys cheer in this?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Love that.
Okay, well, good. There's a guy that I went to college with. He, University of Wisconsin, was a cheerleader for the Badgers.
Full ride.
And he loved it.
Absolutely.
He just meant it was the greatest thing ever.
Yes.
How can it not be? You're with
Yeah,
all these girls.
exactly.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad gig to me. That's
Yeah.
certainly-
No,
you
but
know.
anyway, well, I didn't know, you know, certain competitions, they,
Yeah.
you know, they don't allow that. But you do, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, or wants to get in touch with Mid-Florida,
Yes.
how do they do it?
Yes. My phone number is 863-670-7840.
Okay.
Email address is tracy.faison@yahoo.com.
And Faison is spelled Faison.
Correct. Thank you.
You bet. That's great. 2 events I want to ask you about. One is Sunday, November 12th. The other one is Saturday, November 18th. And the one on the 12th is a cheerleading certification. But the certification means you're getting certified to compete in the nationals, right?
Correct.
Okay. And that's going to be at Bryant Stadium as well. You're coordinating all of that.
Correct.
How many kids do you anticipate?
We have now approximately, since the last I talked to the register, was 86 teams.
How many on a team?
We can have up to 32 on a team.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
geez.
Can we do the math on that? That's 18 times.
And they're coming from 17 counties?
Yes.
Okay.
17
And do they
counties.
spend the night while they're here?
Yes, they spend the night. That is the
Wow.
big camaraderie and cheer, is that bonding time in the hotel.
Yeah.
When they're running up and down the hallways.
Yeah.
Screaming and hollering
Yes.
and having a good time.
Well,
Wow,
you know,
that's amazing.
That's part of life's journey, and you know, we've all been there, believe me. But and then the following week on Saturday, November 18th, at Bryant Stadium, you have the Mid-Florida Football Super Bowl.
Yes.
And that I know, you know, obviously working with Horace over the years and just conversations, you know, that is massive. I mean, that's thousands and thousands of kids.
Yes, yes.
And what
everybody's
is it?
waiting.
What is
The Super Bowl.
explain it, yeah.
Mid-Florida, we have 8 divisions, and those divisions play towards the Super Bowl. So we have 4 playoffs. So they go through 4 weeks of playoffs to get to that one day, which is November the 18th.
And now, is there cheer and football both?
Absolutely.
And so, how do they work with each other? How does that? They're on the sidelines
Yes.
cheering, and they're out on the field playing just like as a regular game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like if any other competition or playoffs, the football team bring their cheerleaders along with them to cheer them on to victory. And the age group range from 4 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, 11 to 12, and then 13 to 15. Different opponents from each other.
Fantastic.
That's unbelievable. And it's just like thousands of them. Have you ever
Yeah.
been around that weekend? I mean, it's crazy.
So you've got a lot of good staff then and volunteers that are
yes.
helping you keep this all organized. You
yes.
have to with that
Oh,
many,
yes.
with
Absolutely.
that many kids running around
Yes.
and making sure they get there on time for their slot to perform and all that good stuff.
Tracy, isn't this one of the largest cheerleading and football organizations in the country? Do I remember that correctly?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. Yes, we are the largest independent football conference.
And so from all of this, I mean, it's like we have like our Bartow High School cheerleading team are national champs, if I'm correct at that. And so this has to be kind of the building stages for them to learn all this and be involved, so that when they get in high school, they've got a lot of girls that have been cheering for quite a while when they get into high school.
Yes, and that's one of the things that on the Little League base that we mentor and grow the kids up to go out to compete for high school positions.
Well, there's a career ladder. It's just like it's like any other sport. And cheer, I remember having some spirited discussions years ago about whether cheer was a sport or not, and dance was a sport. I said, let me tell you something, because I had 2 years of jazz dance, and said that's every bit of a sport as some of the other stuff. Oh, it's unbelievable. Said, yeah, it is a sport, and there's a lot of people that deny the fact that cheerleading is a sport, dance is a sport, and it's physical, takes endurance, takes strength. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, congratulations, great program. Obviously, Mid-Florida Football and Cheer Conference, biggest in the country, independent. And hats off to you, Horace, and the rest of the gang over there. Looking forward to seeing some of these events, because I will be around, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity, Hank. So check it out, everybody. Mid-Florida Football and Cheer Conference. You can look it up on the web and give Tracy a call. Thanks again for joining us. Great job.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, everybody, speaking of great jobs, that is, Hank, that is an unbelievable program. I've just watched that grow throughout the course of the years.
And all those kids here in town spending the night, what a great economic impact it has on our community as well.
And think about the lives, the impact it has on the lives of these kids that are playing. So we got to count our blessings here in Polk County for a lot of reasons, and that's one of them. So anyway, kudos to Tracy. She does a great job. Speaking of great jobs, marathon. I don't know why anybody wants to run a marathon. I mean, my hat's off to those runners. My wife's a runner.
Yes, she
I don't
is.
get it. I'd rather, be in the gym doing that. But, fact of the matter is, the Red Ribbon Half Marathon takes place November 11th.
Okay.
And another great opportunity if you're into running and so on. They have a half marathon, a 5K, and a kids run, and it all takes place in downtown Lakeland. It is a wonderful event, but we're going to do one better than that. You get to see some of the action from last year. Again, November 11th, the Red Ribbon Marathon. Check it out, everybody. Hank and Mark will be back right after this. Stay with us, everybody.
It's great to see everybody this morning.
As this event grows, we're going to show everyone how much Lakeland and Polk County, and then eventually Central Florida, are embracing healthy attitudes and behaviors.
On your mark. And they're off. Good luck. Safe travels to everyone running in Polk County's second annual Red Ribbon Marathon 5K and Kids Fun Run today.
The half marathon, 13.1 miles, the only one in Polk County. Started last year, so it's our second year. Had about 600 runners this year, coming from mainly all across the state. We have a few from outside the state. So this is the first year for the 5K. It was a great run. You know, it was a very similar course. The great part about it was the middle schoolers and the high schoolers got to run for free as part of the Red Ribbon Series.
On your mark, get set, go!
Well, we've been doing the kids run for 23 years, and so we've just expanded it to add the 5K and the half for parents and adults, and they make great role models for kids. So we're really super excited that all 3 events are going off without a hitch today. It's a big undertaking.
Good run, buddy! Nice job, Sam!
Awesome job, awesome job.
This is the first female!
And that's a tough course, so yeah, I was able to do that today, so that makes me feel pretty confident in my training. Yeah, she's my biggest fan. She's not a runner, but she comes and just cheers me up, and I love those kisses.
Very good job. Great work. Great run. Florida's not known for hills, but we here in Polk County have a lot. They run Cleveland Heights and along Hallam, as well as next to Florida Southern, along Johnson Avenue. So some great sights, but it is a challenging course.
Michael Conrad!
I'm very proud and I wasn't the last one, so I'm very happy. Well, I believe in what it stands for, as well as that I'm trying to make myself healthier, so this is the first step, my first 5K.
The last 4 were a little tough. My goal time was a little bit faster, but I'm still happy to finish. So it's a tough course, and I'm very thankful and blessed to be able to compete today. It's a beautiful day, and what a great opportunity for the city of Lakeland and the community to embrace this half marathon, 5K, and kids run.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, buddy.
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good.
This year, Florida Southern College provided the majority of the volunteers. They were out on the course and here at the finish line. But yeah, there are volunteers all over Lakeland right now, making sure that the course is secure and the runners are enjoying themselves.
Good morning.
I just can't say enough about people who are willing to come and give their time. They're not being paid. They don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. They're just here to help kids and to support healthy lifestyles and to assist us in our mission with drug and bullying prevention.
This is something that we want to continue to grow. It's going to be a long-time race in Polk County.
Let's hit it for Lakeland. In the house.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Segment number 3. Mark Jackson along with Hank Longo.
Here we are, and we're having a fun day. We have fun when we get to do this, and it's one of the things I love about my job. And we want to thank the folks at the Hampton Inn Bartow for sponsoring our 3rd segment here on Sports Central.
You know, you're talking about the job side of things, but you've been, doing either announcing or broadcasting a long time. For broadcasting,
I've got a degree in speech communication, so I started way back in college.
Yeah, that was my first show was 30 years ago.
Wow.
The very first show was on ESPN. It was an ESPN show. So that was my right into it. So 30 years ago.
We're still hanging in there. I didn't realize you were that old, but I guess you just kind of gave that away.
Well, I was 6.
All righty, here we go. Let's get this thing rolling.
I can get this kind of abuse at home. Hey, Hank, one of the things that is so cool about living in Central Florida, living in Polk County, and we alluded to it a little earlier in the show, are the opportunities that we have. We were talking with Shelly about, NBA team here, G League team, and so on. But as you and I have been involved in the sports world virtually our entire lives and have watched sports come and go. Mm-hmm. But one that continues to come and comes more and grow and grow some more is rugby. Yeah. And it is a brutal brutally tough sport, but it's also there's also a lot of finesse. Well, we have a guy here, JD Arbuckle.
Yes, we do.
Who is the captain and the coach and chief cook and bottle washer, okay, in Lakeland for the Lancers Rugby Club. Lakeland Lancers. JD, glad to have you on board, man.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Yeah, great to have you on board.
And we've got to talk about the ball.
We've got to talk about the ball. We've got to talk about how the heck you got into rugby to begin with.
Yeah. Sure. So I started in high school, and the first year we had a great coach from across the pond, and he took us to an undefeated season. Then we took 5th in state as a bunch of kids that had never played before.
Now,
where'd
home?
you grow up? Yeah.
Minnesota.
Oh, where I grew up, well, I lived in whereabouts?
Perfect, right out of Minneapolis, yeah.
Where?
Shakopee area.
Oh my God.
That's great.
I lived in Robbinsdale.
There's a Minnesotan everywhere.
I had the first complete car stereo shop in Minneapolis. Prince was a customer of mine.
That's great,
Yeah,
wow.
so were the guys in the time and the pro wrestlers and
That's where I went to seminaries.
Yeah,
New
up
Brighton.
in St. Paul. Yeah, in New Brighton. Right
That's
by
United
Island
Theological
Lake.
Seminary.
Yeah.
People don't believe that, but it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I mean is, yeah, they don't believe that.
No, thanks.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you know I am. So let's go ahead. Let's take it
Yeah,
away. Let's
you know,
get talking rugby.
Rugby is big. I mean, it is one of the fastest growing sports statistically, because we've got all the statistics. Rugby, lacrosse, probably two of the top, right at the top. And when you start looking at the growth, especially within the last 10 years, has been phenomenal. And so much of it came across, you know, from South Africa, Kevin Kitto, who's a big rugby guy, official and all this type of stuff, has helped us bring in some rugby events, including we had I believe it was called the Can-Am Challenge in, this was probably 4 or 5 years ago, Canada versus the U.S. Over at Bryant Stadium. That was really fun. That was a gas. But you're trying to grow a program that's gaining in popularity, and it's one of those programs that, or one of those sports, I should say, a lot of people aren't real familiar with. Yeah, it sort of looks more like football, but it's a little like soccer too. So tell us a little bit about the sport itself.
I always liken it to the closest sport to a battle, like a war field, because there's a spot for every player of every size. Everybody thinks it's all these big guys, but on your wings, you need some fast little guys to go flying down the side. And so it's like having a cavalry and artillery and some infantry all working together, and it's very strategic. So as a lot of people know, you pass backwards, right? That's
you
very
can't pass
different.
forward.
Can't pass forwards.
Oh, and you can't pass overhand.
Can't pass overhand.
Okay, so let's stop for a second.
Sure.
Grab the ball there for a second. Okay, so now from where you are to pass it backwards, how do you do that?
Sure, so if I'm running forward, you kind of spin the ball this way, and then the player will catch it like that. I'm a scrum half, which is kind of the quarterback position. So a lot of time you'll see a breakdown, which is that big pile of guys fighting for the ball.
Yeah.
And it's actually a lot of strategy in there as well. And the ball should be ready for me. And what I do is I come up there and I either tell my forwards I'm ready for a punch, send those big guys up to crash into the defensive line, or I'll tell the ball to go out to the backs, which is the smaller guys that run plays, which is a lot like football. We've got some switches and some good stuff like that. So a lot of times I'll be taking the ball off the ground and launching it 15 meters or so.
But when you're launching it this way.
That's right.
So it's like an underhand pitch.
That's right.
When you're throwing the
Does
ball.
it have to be two hands?
No, and you can do that overhand pass too. A lot of times you can offload. So if you're going into a guy and you know you're about to get laid out and you have a support player coming up, you can just pop the ball up to him. So there's no really rule except for that forward pass. It's
And
really
it has
important.
to go backwards.
Has to go backwards, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so here you are, everybody's banging away out there, you know. What kind of gear are you wearing to protect yourself? Because I know it's not as good
called
as
a
the gear
jock.
that they're wearing.
Illegal. You can't wear them.
Huh?
Nope. It's
You gotta be kidding
against
me.
rugby law. No. Some people will wear like kind of small pads on their shoulders and stuff, or a scrum hat, but it's very rare. So really, it's a hard head is really all you really need, and hard shoulders.
And a mouthpiece, I hope.
Mouthpiece, absolutely, absolutely. So there's actually a lot of respect on the field, because when you're tackling somebody without pads, you don't have pads either. So there's a very specific technique to keep your head out of the way, and you can't spear any guys like you can in football. So there's kind of some respect, even though you're really trying to beat up the other team. And it's great. It's a fun game.
Tell us a little bit about your organization, and obviously there's people that want to get involved, and possibly they don't even know about your organization. So the organization is the Lakeland Lancers Rugby Club. And do you have a website?
We have a Facebook page that's
Okay.
kind of our headquarters. So Lakeland Lancers Rugby Club, you search that on Facebook, you send me a message, and we're getting you out on the field as soon as possible.
What age group? I mean, or is it just?
Well, they've got, what, a 57-year-old Frenchman playing
That's right,
on your
right.
team?
We've got guys in the 50s who have played for 20 years, and then we've got 18-year-olds who are just stepping on the field for the first time.
Now, is 18 as young as you can be to play the game?
For the social club, there's U17s, under 17s, U19s. So we are a social club where it's 18 to whenever you decide to quit.
Who do you play?
Dobbins Park is a field out in Lakeland. So we've been playing there for a while, and now we're looking for a field with lights because we got daylight savings time.
You ever think about Lake Myrtle in Auburndale?
Hey, let's talk about it. That sounds good.
You've got 11 fields with lights out there.
Right.
Yeah, the conditions are second to none.
And we're excited. We're working with the city to get a good spot like that, and we've got Cobb and Penn is our sponsor, which is a cool pub downtown Lakeland. So they're on our arms. It's
well, let's talk about this pub. Where
yeah,
is it? I've never heard of this
now
one.
you're interested.
The exploration is going to take place.
Right,
That's
right.
what.
Yeah, we'll head there after this.
Okay, what does it say? I know it says that. I read it somewhere. Oh, Cobb and Penn, and that's downtown Lakeland?
Yeah. It's been there for a couple of years now. It's an old building. They moved from the lake, renovated, and it's a very cool gastropub.
Really? I'm going to have to check that out.
Very
Cobb
cool.
and Penn.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Well, so anyway, back to, who do you guys play?
We played everybody in the summer. We played sevens. So there's 2 games of rugby, really. There's sevens with
It's like
7
in the
players.
Olympics now. They went.
Exactly.
They
It's
went to
Olympic
sevens.
sport now. So
Okay.
sevens is way more fast-paced. It's a 14-minute game. 2 halves of 7 minutes, and you are exhausted by the end of that because you're playing on a football
you don't
field.
stop.
No stoppage, football field-sized game, and 7 guys running and crashing into each other. And so we played sevens this summer against teams like USF, Orlando, Tallahassee, and then we even got wiped out by a team of national champions who decided to start a little social club and then come and run the whole state.
Yeah.
So that was a fun little initiation.
And then what was it like playing with them? I mean, did you learn a little bit of what it was like to be a national champ?
We learned a lot, man, if you can call it that. So,
I think.
You know, some of our guys would go in there, me too, and you go into that ruck, you try and beat them and push against them, and it's my job to always be really cheeky, and I'm yelling at them, hey, get your hands out of there and stuff, and when I talk to these guys about that, they'll just pick me up, throw me out of that thing, you know.
And we don't need this guy.
Yeah, exactly. So
wow.
We're about to help out USF's B-side this Saturday, so we're going to go play with them. And then on the 11th, we have a tournament out in Indian River. We're playing Brevard and Indian River, like a matrix match, a bunch of games in a day.
Is there an organized league or anything like that, or is this just like you just set up? I mean, how does that work?
Absolutely. USA Rugby is a very good organization.
So you guys are sanctioned by the governing body then?
Yes. We have to get to a certain amount of players on our roster, and then we have to apply a year ahead of time to get into the official bracket nationwide, and then we can move up and play, in our conference and keep going after that. So next year, we're going to be at that level, and it's very exciting.
Wow.
Explain briefly, let's just talk about the game.
Sure.
You know, how you score, how it starts, do you kick off, how does this work?
Yeah, I love this stuff. So there is a kickoff, and you've got 15 players on your side. So let's say you're kicking off, and you've got a wall of defenders, and it's their job to stay flat and just run forward. And you can't go past that wall. That's the whole point. And you might receive that kickoff. You try and get that to one of the big guys, and they'll start running in. They'll crash into a defender. They'll go down, and then it's called a ruck, where other big guys will go over and create kind of a bridge.
Okay.
And so I'm looking at the defensive field, and I'm saying, we've got a gap over there. So I'm yelling at my forwards, I'm yelling at my backs, I'm telling them we need a crash left, we need a crash left. And these big guys will keep crash. It's all about consistency and endurance in this game.
And
for
so
sure.
you're pushing the other team down the field?
We're pushing them down the field. Sometimes you'll get a gap, and we'll have a fast guy go flying down the field.
Through there, and so you bust through the gap,
Sure.
okay, like a running back.
Yep,
Bam,
yep.
you're through the hole and you're going. So are you running to an end zone?
That's right. We call it the try zone, try line.
And you just can keep on running unless somebody takes you down.
That's
just
right.
Like
And
being tackled in a football game.
That's right. And when you hit that try zone, you have to place the ball down. So a lot of times if you get into that try zone and maybe an opponent's on you and he gets his hand under this, then it's a penalty kind of. It's a scrum down. We don't get that point. So you have to put the ball down, and sometimes it gets a little tricky.
Huh.
Very interesting.
It's cool stuff. Where can people watch you guys? I mean, it's at, you said Gilbert Field.
Dobbins Field
Dobbins
in
Field.
Lakeland. Yeah, if you just hit us up on that Facebook page,
Okay.
we're always really excited to meet new people. We had a couple new guys come out yesterday, and they joined right in with the squad, and
Perfect.
you know that's really great. So, and then next year we'll have fields here and tournaments here, so we're excited for that too.
Wow.
That needs to talk to Mark Zimmerman.
Yeah, we got to
because
get you out here at Lake Myrtle. And,
be great.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that would be
beautiful
awesome.
fields
You know,
and
even-
lights, and
Yeah.
it's kind of centrally located. So I mean, you'd have people, you know,
You could
from
pull
Winter
from all
Haven,
over the
from
county.
all
And
over
I'll talk
the
to that cheerleader lady. We'll get a cheerleader squad
Yeah,
going
get
on
a
in Tracy,
cheerleader
and that'd be
squad.
great.
Yeah,
It'll all
that'll be
work out.
set.
Tracy
Yeah.
Faison, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah,
Yeah, she was another enthusiastic girl. But that's
Yeah.
a great program. Congratulations! Wow, what a tribute to the variety, endless variety of sports
and
in
just
Polk
and
County.
your dedication to put the time into it that you do to make it happen. So it takes that spark to get the fire going, and we appreciate all that you're doing to bring the sport to us.
Thanks, guys. It's all about the team. They put in the work all day long. It's
There
great.
you go.
Sure, sounds like
Thanks,
it.
JD. Well, everybody, man, sport of rugby is cool. I've always liked rugby. Thought it was. I never played, you know, and of course,
I've never
by the
had
time
the
I
chance
even
to
became
play.
aware of it, you know,
No, you can still play. You can still
Come on
join
out.
the team.
63 years old.
You can still join
and,
the team.
I like my knees the way they are. You know, I like
They
all
don't.
my teeth, you know, the way they are. So I'm not gonna. It would be fun.
Okay.
I really would like to try it though.
It'd be fun to just go out
It
there.
would be
and
fun.
They'd let you play without hurting
Yeah.
you too bad, I would
Yeah.
think.
All right. Well, we got to get back on track here. We get off.
We
so
got a
easily.
spotlight
We
coming
do
up.
have a spotlight coming up. Kennedy Lewis, a cross-country track star from Lakeland Christian School, is our up-close and personal victim of the week of the day. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But great school, great kid, dedicated athlete. Check this out, everybody. These are some of my favorite snippets, and you're going to see why. Check it out. We'll be back right after this.
Sixth grade, I started doing cross country, and I always ran, like we had Olympics at our school in elementary, and I always would, we would race your whole class, and the fastest, like so many, like 4 people would be in the relay, and I loved that, and I just loved Olympics, and I always loved running. So my friend recommended cross country to me, and I've been doing it every year since then, cross country and track. I started by myself. It was my thing I wanted to do, but then my parents got involved, and they were just like really into it during the summer and stuff. They're like, "Can you need to run? You need to run." It became like more of like a discipline thing. They're like, "If you need to run, you can't go to the mall. You can't go," you know. When I was like younger, so then I had like this negative thing linked to running when I was young. So then when I was in 10th grade, I didn't. That's the only year I didn't do. I did cross country in 10th grade, but I didn't do track that one year in 10th grade. And I almost like, I'm done. Like I almost didn't do, I almost wasn't going to do cross country in 11th grade, almost didn't. And I ran that cross country season, but I didn't run track. And it was in the summer, and then July came, and I went to this camp, whatever. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, school's coming up, about that. And I was like, I'm not doing cross country. And then I ended up getting really sad, because then I realized, I was like, I always liked running. It wasn't something I was not happy with. It was something that my parents made negative at one point, but then they left me alone about it, and I started running actually at camp. During free time, I started running twice a day and stuff, so I could run cross country season. Since, and then that year I haven't stopped running consecutively since then, and now I love running more than I ever have now. I have ADHD, so I always have like extra pimped up energy, and running really helps me just like let it out so I can chill. Like I just feel really good, and I just feel like I'm relaxed, and yeah, so it really helped me with that too, and helps me with focus because I can focus easier. Like running, I can actually think out things better. It's a good thing to plan out your day and and it it's like if you had a hard day or you had things that frustrate you, you go run and you think it doesn't bother you anymore, or you're not upset anymore. You just feel relieved, and it gives you just like calmness over. So that's really nice, because I think I'd be more stressed out about school my senior year, or like a test I didn't go on, or like situations. I would be more stressed out, but instead I go run and it's like I get it out, and I just feel really good. So people say runners are always like the happiest, and that's so true. My dad started running too, so he could run with me and my sister because I was in 6th grade, she was in 8th grade. So it's kind of like, you know, you're kind of young kids. You can't, it's like, where are they gonna go run? So he started running so he could run with us. That was really nice. And he's actually got really into it. And my parents come to every single one of my races and they're really supportive. And they really, like my dad, I'll go running with him sometimes. He's a really good runner. He does my long runs with me, I'll follow him. He's really fast, yeah, fast and stuff. So that's really nice to have that support. I don't miss more than like a day or 2 off a week ever. I ran 500 miles this summer. And every 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I would have 1 day. I would take 1 day off. It doesn't when you add it all. When you see it by week, it doesn't seem like a lot because I don't know why it doesn't. I'm planning on running in college. I have a couple of colleges that I am in contact with for running. And it's just a matter of like where to go and like place, because some of them are out of state, and I wouldn't mind going to out of state if the cross country program is worthwhile and the you know, academics too. So I would go out of state for those purposes. But if I have something that's equal to what's out of state, I would probably stay in state. I'm thinking about doing public relations, or advertising or marketing. So I do art at my school, APR and stuff, and I'm also artistic kind of jobs, you know, marketing, helping other businesses with that, coming up with like labels, you know, how to present yourself, or helping people like how to put yourself out, you know, how you should, your image. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Welcome back, everybody. Fourth segment of Sports Central, and boy, that Kennedy Lewis. You know, Lakeland Christians really produce some unbelievably great athletes.
They really
good
have,
kids,
and
too.
they're good kids on top of it. And we want to thank the folks at the Ledger for sponsoring our fourth segment here on Sports Central. And boy, we have just flown through some great 3 segments before this. You know, when they fly by, you know, you're having fun and good interviews, and it just makes it so enjoyable.
You know, we were talking about the Ledger. You were talking about the Ledger. That's really interesting direction and some really cool stuff. The new publisher, Brian Burns, has just been great to work with, and of course Lenore DeVore and her staff. It's just Sports Crew is fantastic. They're just a great organization to. You know, we're lucky to have
great
them.
to have them affiliated with. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, we only got a couple minutes, so let's talk about something new and exciting that we've been waiting for a long time. It's been in the works for a while, and I think it's really going to be quite an enhancement as another great thing to do in our county, and that is the new cable water ski park that's under construction right now in Lake Myrtle.
Well, Hank, that's part of a bigger project that USA Water Ski and Wake Sports Foundation is putting together, moving the museum, their headquarters,
Hall of Fame,
the whole Hall of Fame deal, and so on, over to Lake Myrtle. It'll be the new headquarters. They'll have 3 lakes, competition ski lakes. They're going to be digging one, the third one, and that should be undergoing. But from what I've been told, I think you may know more about it than I do, the cable park should be open in April.
Yes, and they've got the towers in there, and hopefully it will be, because what a great kickoff to this year's 2018 Water Ski Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, to have everybody here and to actually have that cable park up and running, and we're looking really forward to that.
Well, it's been great, and you know, you can't say enough about Randy Knapp and all of his efforts, and Tracy Mattis, who's the executive director of USA Water Ski and Wake Sports Foundation. But we do have some very special friends
folks
to thank.
Yep, we do, and couldn't do this without them. Hilton Garden Inn in Lakeland, Cypress Lanes, Harborside, Harry's Old Place, and Peoples. Thank you so much. We can't tell you how much we love your support here at Sports.
And Peoples yesterday was outstanding.
Oh, it always is.
Oh,
it always
geez,
is.
Those ribs are so good. Small rib plate, $7.
Can't beat
oh, geez, that is phenomenal. Anyway, until I visit there quite a bit.
Radio show.
Radio show, our sister show on WLKF AM and FM, 5 o'clock on Thursdays. Every Thursday is one of the hottest shows in Central Florida. Ratings are really high for that Sports Central show.
Do a good job on that.
So the boys do a great job, and make sure you check that out. Some great guests, great topics. And, you know, Hank, been a great week. Got lots to look forward to heading into the holiday season. And speaking of which, our next live show will be November 17th. Until then, everybody, this is Mark Jackson For Hank Longo and all the crew at PGTV, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again next time.